All right, I'm back. I got my book. You got this is the motto on here. If my demeanor is some other person, beware. Just sit back, relax. You'll be able to find me sometime. So I have my journal here, and I'm going to go ahead and start with the interview questions toward myself. I think the first thing I wrote down was looking for my female. So ladies, make sure that you assess me correctly. I am on a sense to locate my female. Self-interview questions. If you guys haven't started, this is some fun stuff. I saw a guy on The Bachelor sit like this. He was on a previous Bachelor actual reality showing, but he has his own podcast. I'm not sure his name right now, but a little shakiness in my voice. I want to say I had an intro video that said that I was a little nervous, so I'm kind of shy with it. We'll start with question number 1. What am I drinking? No, I'm kidding. That's not the first question. All right. How approachable are you? Rating myself with a verbal expression and not numerically, I would say a 0. I am not approachable. Not at all. It's very difficult to find something to say to someone, and I would be one of those people. Thank you for the lighting. Thank you. So, question number 2. What is your greatest fear? Good question here. Okay. So, greatest fear would be actually being alone, not as in an unsensible way, not having a relationship, but being alone out in the world. If I was lost somewhere in the middle of nowhere, we'd say like being completely dark as the setting, I would be very fearful. Very, very. Question number 3. Have you been hurt before, and how? I would have to say I have definitely been hurt. That is a complete yes. I have been hurt before. And how? I don't know how. I would have to say emotionally. Physical pain comes in at random times, and yeah, it hurts. But my question theology that I was answering had to do more with emotional, and I have been hurt before, or been let down, or something like that. So a situation to give the how would be mostly myself not being able to complete my actual mentality or the mental process on anything that I would try to complete or have a process towards in a relationship, at a job. And sometimes it doesn't hit me right then. It's the after effect or things like that that would actually hurt more in that emotional state. Question number 4. Do you leave conversations empty? I say no, now I do not. I used to. I would say a vague statement. My brother had once told me that I spoke in a vague term, or my sentences were vague. So once I assessed myself after that, in another slight emotional, it would have been a complete answer on how I definitely was leaving conversations empty. Number 5. What is your preferred food place? And I did write preferred wrong, so I'm glad there's not a question on here if I can spell. So, what is your preferred food place? Well, I would have to say a pizza place would be my preferred place. I forgot food there, but that's what I'd say. Question number 6. How do we go on a date at a pizza place? Do y'all like pizza parlors, or there's no way to really go there? I went to Mazio's here downtown about a year ago, and I sat out front kind of in the same demeanor, and I told everyone exactly what I was going to do, and so now I'm doing it. So I didn't really have a female to sit with, or a gentleman, or anyone, so I don't really know how to approach to take someone to a pizza place. Number 6. Question number 6. Has your past affected your future, and how? I would have to say yes. The prior question, if I were to get relevant, since there wasn't a spelling question on here and then I messed up on a word, I can kind of refer back to this as the last question we talked about. I would say the past that I had went to Mazio's had brought up the existing question's answer as how it affected the future in a good way. How many fights have you been in? Oh Lord. Okay, so the demeanor thing we were talking about earlier, this had to have been implicated somewhere. Okay, let's see. I do not want to sit on this video long. I already am emotional and shaky and shy. So if I were to think quick in actual physical fights, let's see how long it takes me. Roughly 14 to 15. 14 or 15. Did you get involved with people you didn't know? There are things that have occurred that I've met random people, or just people that situations were happening that I may have portrayed and been associated with. But as far as keeping the right people around me, I would say I've kept a good, unapproachable, back to question 1, type of demeanor. This was a double question. Question number 8. Did you get involved with people you didn't know, and what would you do if they approached? Okay, well, I see that I had answered that relatively simultaneous as the question had been unfolded. If they had approached, I wouldn't know how to respond until they approached. I would more than likely respond how I left that situation involving the conversation, whether it had been a certain type of emptiness or a fulfilled relationship. Question number 9. Did any one reason save your life? I would have to say no actual reason saved my life. So no to the question. I did not have one reason save my life at a time. I would have to say it came from an accumulative form, and that would be how I approach the world the best I can. So taking people as they are and including myself in certain situations to the best of my abilities have portrayed this type of environment where not one reason was ever gonna be able to have a downfall or any type of implication saving or hindering a life. So I would say no to the question as well. Question number 10. Y'all want to know how many questions there are? Okay, we'll get to it. Question number 10. How many people's lives have you saved? This is a good question to ask someone. Emotionally and verbally are not the first things that come to someone's mind, so they think in dire need type of savings, and I'll talk about those, the few that I've had, because that may be the most pertained to. I would have to say roughly 3, and I may be leaving out a few. I'm not sure how much of that works, but as far as resuscitating someone or completely revolving someone, that wouldn't have been something that occurred. Question number 11. When did you know you were wanted? Very good question. I went to a police station a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago. And if I talk about that, I'm only saying that because I felt free in the world. Not just because, it's a funny question about cops and wanted and the term. I'm saying it's about a person feeling free and accepting any type of situation because they may be lost. And then that would be a reference to the daylight. Being lost in the daylight's a totally different fear. So I would say I went there and told them that I had a warrant, and no need to know why I had a warrant, because that's only a word and a term that I know to say that I would be in trouble or to just completely free myself or emotionally let myself be someone new. Good questions. There's only 11, so we made it pretty good. Not bad on the time, so thank you for sitting here while I locate my female. If there are any likes, then I would love to hear about it. And be looking for more questions and scenarios.